Welcome to WTF is Web3, where we untangle the uncertainties of Web3 technologies. Be sure to check out the show notes for more information, giveaways, and ways to stay in touch. You're also going to want to make sure that you're subscribed to our podcast, our YouTube channel, and our private group so you don't miss out on exclusive content, freebies, and much more. If this episode seems like it was stripped out of a longer conversation, that's because it was. This is what we call a shallow dip, because it's basically the opposite of a deep dive, where we're going to give you a brief explanation of a concept, a term, or a topic that we just felt you would dig without having to listen to an entire episode. However, if you do want to listen to the entire episode, I invite you to check out the show notes, because that will get you to that longer episode and you can hear everything in context of the original conversation. Now that we've got that explanation out of the way, let's jump into the episode. So when it comes down to the fees and the process and the red tape and regulations compared to taking a company public, are you familiar with what, like, is a DAO something that's cheaper? Is this something that we'd be able to execute in a weekend? What's the regulation like? What are the fees like? Like, I know, was it like $250,000 to register on? Well, you tell me. You give me. I don't want to start spouting out wrong information.
So, I mean, that's to take a company public is usually pretty far down in the business life cycle. There's a couple of times that it would make sense to take a company public. Primarily, it's if you need to raise more money and you can't get enough from private markets, or you have a lot of investors already in this company and you want to give them. So,
big difference would be DAOs are, I would assume, more commonly implemented at the inception, or that is the inception. I got another question, and you get to it later, try to remind me of it. Like a DAO, do I need to file an LLC with the DAO, or is the DAO in place of the LLC? But like going back to taking it public versus a DAO, we would, when we decide we're going to start the company, we decide that we would use the structure of the DAO versus taking a company public. You normally don't do that. Like, okay, let's start filing the paperwork for this company with no revenue, and right. That's a pretty substantial differentiator, right?
Yeah, you're generally right there. I think all those points are pretty much on track. A DAO, this is where it gets confusing, right? Like, people think the DAO is something separate, and this is what I'm trying to like elucidate. A DAO can be wrapped in an LLC. By itself, it's not a legal entity. An LLC is a legal entity. It's a way for you to communicate and organize. It's a way for you to pay taxes, but you'd have to elect, if you want to be a partnership or a corporation. A DAO can be within an LLC. It can be a tool that the LLC utilizes. A DAO by itself, if you just set up a DAO, it would probably end up being a partnership. The partnership then would have every member of this DAO would be equally responsible for these obligations that went into it. It's kind of a mess. So the DAO is a useful tool. It's a great way to make sure you're on the same page with people involved in it, but it's hard to say that it's a replacement for the traditional company organization and structure, because you can't do the things you want to do. So if you want to take a company public, again, you're doing that because you have, you're looking to raise money. So you want to bring money in and you want to do something with that money. Traditionally, it's solving a problem, figuring something out. That would be a security. Right? Like, taking something public is a security. It's looking at the Howey test and figuring out, all right, is this looking to pool money with the intentions to make a profit off of the efforts of others? That would involve the efforts of others. What's great about a DAO is it's good for situations where you're not looking to solve a problem, really. You're not looking to coordinate people together and get a task done. It's good for just very simple instructions of if X, then Y. If okay. Y, then Z. So what you're seeing a lot right now are DAOs just as opportunities to invest. It's a really good investment vehicle because it's very rule driven rather than creating a product, organizing people to solve a problem. If it's just something like, if if XYZ reaches $300, buy. Once it gets to $600, sell. It's just very rule based. So you can just execute it, have everyone on board, everyone agrees on what it is they're looking at, and it can just get that job done. That's where it really comes together and makes a lot of sense. And that's where you're seeing it used a lot, especially in the NFT space. You're seeing a lot of these DAOs where you have people come together, they pull their resources, they pop it in there, they set some rules that they agree to, some assets that they agree to consider for this DAO, and they're making really amazing returns.
All right, that is going to wrap it up for this shallow dip. But if you want more information and more conversation, I invite you to check out the episode notes and our channel, because not only can you listen to the entire conversation from which this clip was stripped, but there's also going to be more episodes that do a deeper dive on this specific topic. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to make sure you don't forget to check out the information and the links in the show notes. Some of that stuff is going to get you into freebies and raffles and contests and all sorts of other promotions. But also, we've got a private group dedicated to our listeners and our followers. We would love to see you there, love to see you collaborate, join, and get exclusive content that we are only distributing through these other means. Speaking of distributing through other means, I want to make sure that you're also subscribed to our podcast, our YouTube channel, and again, join that private group so you know everything that we know as soon as we know it.